Hey, what's up, everybody? Scott Spreitzer here, DocSports.com. It is Football Thursday, Week 0 college football, final preseason week in the NFL. And the reason we call it Football Thursday, or at least I do, is because each and every Thursday throughout the course of the football season, that's the day of the week when we release our college and pro football plays for the upcoming weekend. Having said that, I'm not involved with premium plays this weekend, NFL preseason, and I'm not involved with the few college football games that kick off Week 0, other than the play that I'm about to give you between Florida State and Georgia Tech. I don't force plays. I never have. I never will. And so I'm going to wait for next week because there's plenty of games. I've already made some bets. We've handicapped the card, and we'll be ready to go with multiple plays next week on Thursday when I release my plays for that weekend right through the 31st. So looking forward to that. If people have a 7-star, a 5-star, a 6-star, if you like the card, go for it. Just not my style to do so on such a short card. Absolutely do not force anything, never have, and never will. I wanted to mention real quickly before I do jump into the comp play in college football for this weekend that I do have the college football, pro football early bird packages still going over on my homepage at DocSports.com. The normal price, $950. Going for $749 right now, $749. Jump on board if you want to before it goes back to the normal price of $950. Wanted to quickly mention that you see the resume on your screen there. We head into this season on a 74-54 college football run that's picked up almost $6,000. NFL has been phenomenal for most of the last 20 years. In fact, I'm on a 433 and 301, 59% NFL run with my last 730 plus plays. Top 20 finisher at the Westgate Super Contest. I'll be in that contest again. I'll be in the Circa contest again. So we put our money where our mouth is, and so you won't have to worry about that. And again, as far as Thursday's card is concerned, and the other sports, I do have baseball. Going to have CFL this weekend. We've been on a tremendous CFL run. Baseball, 59% since May 31st. I lost last night 0-1 in baseball, but we have hit 59% going back since May 31st and 6-2 with my last 8 baseball plays overall. So check it out. Real final quick note that I wanted to mention, some house cleaning here, and then we'll jump into this football game. I mentioned there's 2 board games, couple of extra board games, and I think it's 3 FCS games this weekend in college football. And what I'm going to do Thursday night or Friday during the day is I will have some thoughts on each of the games that are being played of those 7. And we'll talk about that on that report. So it'll be free right here on my next video. All right, let's get to the matchup between Florida State and Georgia Tech from Dublin, Ireland. Obviously, most of you have seen it already. This line has moved from 13.5 all the way down to as low as 10 in some books as the folks are betting against Florida State and on Georgia Tech. Real quick note on that offensive coordinator for Florida State, Alex Atkins. He will serve a 3-game suspension to start the season. And so there's that to keep in mind because you do have some new starters on this Florida State offense. The good thing for Florida State is that they've got a solid offensive line. And listen, I know DJ Uiagalelei was nothing special at Clemson, left Clemson, goes to Oregon State. Now, listen, he's not a Heisman Trophy candidate, but what I liked out of DJ last year with Oregon State, they ran the football first. He thrived in that actual system or gameplay kind of calling. He likes it when the ball is kept on the ground by his running backs, by a solid offensive line, and he also did quite well in play action for Oregon State. So I think we'll see the running game being favored here by the Seminoles. Again, good offensive line, and I also think you'll see some play action from Florida State in this game. Again, they only return 10 starters overall, offense and defense, and the offense really got hit. Only 4 back, new receiving core, all that kind of stuff. But again, that offensive line is pretty good. As far as Georgia Tech is concerned, listen, they're one real tough situation or unit, I guess you could call it, where they struggled was the secondary, the defensive backfield, and they also were bad against the run. In fact, that was their Achilles heel, not so much against the pass, but defending the run. They gave up 5.5 yards per carry last year, and they lose some bodies from that team. They do have speed. Listen, I like what this head coach Brent Key is doing. He's recruiting and getting some decent speed to Atlanta to play for Georgia Tech. You'll see it on the offensive side of the football. The problem for me with Haynes King, the quarterback for the Yellow Jackets, is that he will tend to force passes. He had 16 picks last year in 2023, and his touchdown passes, he was relying on a lot of big plays. I don't think you'll see that against Florida State, even with Florida State missing some parts. Still top-notch depth on the Seminoles defensive side of the football. So that's what I'm looking at here. I see that drop off. I know that Georgia Tech is going to go with the new defensive coordinator, Tyler Santucci, who spent some time at both Duke and at Texas A&M. He runs that 425 defense that we saw many years ago at BYU. We see right now at Nebraska that helped their defense last year. But again, I think they're going to be in a little bit of trouble here. And if you look at an article that was written by a guy named Colin Wilson, he mentioned that not a single player up front on defense for Georgia Tech graded out above average in pass rush. Simple as that. That line has come all the way down to 10 in a couple of books. It might be tough to find, but I'm going to go with the comp plan Florida State minus 10.5 in this game in Dublin on Saturday. Kickoff 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Sorry to be long-winded. Just wanted to tell you what's going on for me this weekend, plus this play. And I will be back again early Friday with a video where I'll take a little bit of a look, maybe a minute, on each of the upcoming games other than the one I just talked about, Florida State and Georgia Tech. All right. Again, if you want to jump on board with any of my stuff on Thursday, baseball or CFL, we won last night in soccer. If you want to take a look at that or any of these season-long football packages, just check out my work over at DocSports.com on my Handicappers homepage. I'm Scott Spreitzer, everybody. Let's put him in the win column.